So you want to learn how to create these type of effects that are heavily inspired by PRETTIFUN and his Feel Like Uzi music video? Well, I'm about to break down 7 effects that I saw in that music video, and you can follow along in basically any editing software. It doesn't matter what you use to edit, and as usual I'll be breaking down everything step by step, but let's get right into it. But real quick before we get into it, I just want to let you guys know that I'm Lurking Visuals and I run my own editing store where we sell editing presets and assets for video editors just like you. And if you're watching this today, it's the final day of my BOGO sale, which means buy one get one free. So if you add 2 packs to your cart, you'll be getting one of them for completely free. So go check it out for yourself, but let's get right into this tutorial. So I'm in After Effects right now, and that's what I'll be using to break down these effects. But essentially you can follow along inside of any editing software. And I got the first clip right here, which is the first effect right here, and you can see that they got the Mac background over here, and then they got the Mac window, and they have the subject inside of the window. And to make this effect, all you gotta do is simply just search up Mac empty window, and you can see we got one right here, and I'll just download that one, and then I'll search up Mac background. Yeah, I forgot to mention that a lot of people like to use these type of geek effects when they make these type of videos, especially inspired by artists like Che and PRETTIFUN. And my boy Tiny Tapes actually dropped a pack that includes over 350 assets that you simply just drag and drop into your project file. And you can actually get the pack link in my description and use code LURKING for $5 off, just if you're trying to level up your videos inside of this niche. We got a couple different ones. I'll just use this one because that's like the most common one, and I'll just drag both of them into my project file over here, and then I'll just size them down a little bit. And now to get my video playing inside of this window, grab a mask tool, and I'll use the rectangle tool over here, and then just mask it out like this. Make sure to try and leave some of the corners, and then press invert masking. And I want to keep some of the white around the corners like that, because that's how they do it in this music video. Now select my clip and drag it in between the mask layer and the background layer, and then all I gotta do is just size it down. Feel like Uzi, I can do it. Sorry. And that should be good. I'm pretty happy with that, and I'll actually name this layer to background. And then I'll pre-compose these 2 layers. If you're in Premiere Pro or whatever software you use, you just mesh them together. Now I'll size it down, something like this. Then duplicate it, cut it over here, make sure that the duplication comes in over here. Do it one last time, so I'll have 3 of them come in. And I can actually size all of them down a little bit, just so that they all fit. And this should be good. I'll have the first one come in like this, and I'll actually put this one up top, and the next one in the middle like this. And I'm pretty happy with that. It looks really good. So that's basically the first effect, and now I'll jump right into the next one. So the next effect that I'll be breaking down is this one, where they've made his eyes huge, and there are a few different ways you can go about making this effect. As you can tell in this clip, they've used a circle mask and just masked out his eyes and then sized them up and used a feather. So I'll show you guys how they did it on this clip. So I'll duplicate my layer 3 times, and this will be our background layer. So name the bottom one to background, and the first one to left, and the second one to right. So this will be his left eye, and this will be his right eye, and he kind of got his thread in the way, but I'll see what I can do. So I'll grab this ellipse tool, and in whatever software you're using, just grab a circle tool to mask out the eye like this. And then I'll be turning up the feather, so I'll just press M on my keyboard and turn up the feather a lot. So I'll hide both of my layers for now. I'll keep it around 50, and then what I actually got to do is keyframe the mask path and then go frame by frame to make sure that the masking is stuck on his eye like this. Then I'll basically do the exact same thing but for his left eye. So I'll just create a mask like this, and then turn up the feather to around 50, and then I'll actually turn down the mask expansion like this. Then keyframe your mask path and go frame by frame and make sure that it's stuck on his eye. So now we can unhide all of our layers. Now what I'll do is move this anchor point up to his eye and then just size it up. So turn up the scale. Let's do 145, and the same for the right eye. I'll move the anchor point up to the middle of his eye and then size it up to 145. Now you can tell we got huge eyes over here. And that's basically the effect that they did. But you can tell they're kind of moving down over there, like they're basically on his chin right now. So to get rid of this, the only thing you need to do is keyframe the position, go to the part where his eyes are kind of going down and just move them up again. Like this should be good. I don't know where his eyes are supposed to be, but I guess this looks good. I don't know if that one's in the right position, but you get the point. And for everyone that's in After Effects or Premiere Pro, there's another technique to do this, which might be a little bit more simple because you don't have to mess with the position of his eyes. So I'll unhide this layer and I'll just show on this clip real quick. So to do this, all you gotta do is just add a bulge effect. And I'm pretty sure this effect is in Premiere Pro too. And all you gotta do with this one is just move it down to his eye and just keep it centered. Mess with the settings to whatever you'd like to. If you want to have his eyes like super wide, you can do it like this. And then just mess with the bulge height. I'm pretty sure I have another tutorial on this that's more in depth. And then all you gotta do is just go frame by frame, move the bulge center up to the middle of his eye. Just make sure that it's in the middle, and then you should be good. Like, it's that simple. And if you're super lazy and don't want to track it frame by frame, you can actually motion track it using the tracker and then go to motion. But I won't go through that inside of this tutorial because I already have enough to go through. So I'll jump right into the next one. So the next effect that I'll be breaking down is this effect that they got right here. As you can tell, we got the whole scene here for the first couple of frames and then it just fades away. And basically to do this, I'll just use the same clip, but instead I'll just freeze frame it like this. So I'm pretty sure that what they did was just mask out the part that you don't want in your frame. So I'll just mask out this part first, and then go to mask and press invert mask, and then I'll go to the part over here and just mask out everything that's not pink. And then press M on my keyboard so I can see my mask settings and change it from add to subtract. Now you can tell we've gotten rid of everything in the frame. And then I'll press this toggle transparency grid. The final step will be to go to the content aware fill. And if your editing software doesn't have a content aware fill, then I'm pretty sure you can do this on Photoshop if you have Photoshop. And there should also be some free websites that can do this, like we're in 2025 now. Next step will be to just set your work area, which is this part, to the part that you want to content aware fill. So I'll just drag it out to the end of my clip. And I always keep my settings like this, I don't want to mess with them. So I'll just keep them like that, and then I just drag it down till I can see the create generate fill button. So now as you can see, the content aware fill did a great job. And everything is completely pink in the frame, so I can remove all of my maskings right now. And what they did was they actually made sure that the pink came in as the scene went on. That's pretty simple. All you gotta do is just keyframe the opacity of the fill layer. So just drag it a few frames in, and then for the beginning drag it down to 0. Then it will come in as the scene plays through. And I froze my scene just for the sake of this tutorial so I could use the same clip. So it just looks like this right now. But that's pretty much how to do that effect, and I'll jump right into the next one. And the next effects that I'll be breaking down is these two. The first one, where you can see they have this mirror effect going on, slow-mo. And then for the second one, they got this mirror effect with this kaleidoscope in the middle. And I'll show you guys how to do this type of effect. So I got these two clips over here, and the first thing that I'll be doing is making it into slow-mo. And to do that, I'll be using the time warp effect inside of After Effects. But just make your clip in slow-mo. You should be able to do this inside of any software. So basically all I did was just put the frame to 100 for the first frame, and then go to the second frame, turn it down to like 30. This should be good. Then I'll add on a mirror effect. And then I'll drag this reflection center all the way. I can see my subject twice, like this. And that's basically how to do the first effect. And then for this kaleidoscope effect that they use a lot throughout the scene, you can see the one in the middle, they use it a bunch of times. There are a few ways to do this. I'll search up a kaleidoscope effect. And I know that Sapphire has one that is called S Kaleido. And it looks like this. You can see they used this a bunch of times throughout the music video. For the reference clip that I got right here, they just use a small one. So I'll just drag it up a lot and just rotate it a little bit like this. And if you want to make a small one like they have right here, all you got to do is just pre-compose this and then just mask out the part that you want. So let's say that I really want this part, so just grab the pen tool, go around and mask it out like this, and then I can just put it right there and be happy with that. But if you don't have Sapphire, you can actually download this Omino plugin. I'll probably link it in the description, and it's completely free, so you can just drag that one on. Even though it's not as simple, you have to mess with the settings a little bit. You can tell that it gives basically the same look. You actually have more settings to mess with within the inside of this one, so I'll link it in the description. You can mess with it for yourself, but I'll show you guys a couple more effects. Next up, I have this kind of jitter or stutter effect, and I'm not sure if you can do this inside of any other software than After Effects and Premiere Pro, but I'll show you guys real quick how I would do it. I got a few different clips right here from the music video, and it's just some simple ones, nothing special. And I create a new adjustment layer, so just right click, create a new one, and drag it on top of all of my clips. And then I'll use another plugin from Sapphire, and this one is called Jitter Frames. This one is actually super underrated. I don't see a lot of people using this one, and I like to put the frame length to 2 and keep the jitter frame distance at 10. That way we can have this kind of intense glitch that's going on. So I'll just play it through and see what I get. And that's pretty much what they have inside of the PRETTIFUN music video, but it doesn't look good for all clips, so I'll just cut my adjustment layer in a few different clips. And for this first one, I'll actually turn up the edit frame length to 3 and turn up the jitter frame distance to 25, so it's not as much. But for this one, I feel like I can keep it as it is. But that's pretty much how to do this effect. It's pretty self-explanatory. Just mess with the effects. You can get some cool looks with this one. So I'll jump right into the next one. And the next effect will be this one, where you have this kind of tracking that isn't finished. And this is basically an error message that you get inside of Premiere Pro when you try to warp stabilize your footage and it messes up. But since I'm using After Effects right now, to get this type of error message, all you gotta do is just get your clip and then cut it to like 2 or 3 frames. And then go to tracker. If you can't find tracker, just head up to window and press tracker down here, and then press warp stabilizer and let it stabilize for this part that is cut. You can tell right now I got this stabilization failed message on the screen, and if I drag this out, you can see that I get this frame not analyzed for stabilization. Click analyze, and this is basically the error message that you get, which is pretty creative. And then it seems like they just mask it out using a tool just like this, and when they masked it out, it looks like they just duplicated the background, remove the mask from that one layer, and then just press S to mess with your scale, and then unlink it, and then just mess with it on the y-axis like this. I mean, there's a lot of different stuff you can do with this one. Oh yeah, remove the warp stabilizer from this one. Yeah, there's a lot of different stuff you can do with this analyze error message, but that's basically how you do it inside of After Effects. But that's pretty much it for this tutorial. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and check out my packs and also Tiny Tapes and Dead Egos pack. That'll also link in the description. You can use code LURKING for $5 off. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.